All right. Well, I want to thank you all for joining us today for this webinar featuring our partner CardSmart. They are a strategic partner focused on integrated credit card solution services for both the Tribute and TrulinX software systems. Patrick Walsh is the Director of Sales Operations and Analytics, and he will be the presenter today. So I ask that everybody keep their microphones mute. We will be watching the chat for any questions that you may have, or Patrick, it's up to you if you want them to raise their hand and ask questions during your presentation. That's fine too. But Tim and I are both on hand. We will be on the lookout for the chat room to see if there are any questions, and we'll, interrupt if we need to. So take it away.
Awesome. Alrighty, I'm going to share my screen for the presentation. And thank you guys all for jumping on today, especially Lorna, thank you for setting this all up. I see a couple of our current users on, which is awesome. And then some newer users that I haven't gotten a chance to speak to before. Again, my name is Patrick Walsh. I am on the CardSmart team. I'm a director of sales. I also sit directly over our Tribute and our TrulinX relationships. So any customers that we get set up as our users, you deal with me directly. I'm sure most of our current users can attest to that. They always know if something does pop up that I'm kind of their go-to for anything payments related. But with that being said, we'll crack into it. So today, what I'm hoping to get achieved, we're going to start out with a little bit of who CardSmart is. We'll look at what payment processing is, the expected onboarding workflow with CardSmart, a little bit on PCI compliance on security, next interchange optimization. We'll then do a quick demo of our gateway, and then finally hit on future enhancements for integrated payments. All right, so introduction to CardSmart. So CardSmart was started about 5 years ago. It was started from two former execs from Card Connect, which is part of First Data out in Chicago. I was one of the original members of CardSmart, so I've really had the pleasure to watch this grow from, a family-run office of all 4 people up to now having folks all across the country in different time zones. And we've really taken pride in how we've grown. Unlike a lot of traditional payment processors, we don't do as much of the door-to-door sales. We really focus on being strategic partners to software companies like Tribute. So we're very experienced in regards to providing that service to folks and, working in that layer with software companies. And that's just a little bit of who CardSmart is. Again, we are a family office, so a lot of things you're looking at with that, direct support. You're never going to have a 1-800 number with us. There is no seasonal increase. We don't have any kind of financial backer who's sitting there saying, let's turn the screws and do a seasonal increase or whatever it may be. What we agree upon is exactly what you can expect. So just some of the positives of working with us. The next is going to be our services. So as I had mentioned, integrated payment fulfillment. So when you're using both the Tribute and the TrulinX software, when you're executing payment within either of those softwares, we're the people that are going to be facilitating that payment. So we kind of work in the background. But if you run into anything in regards to like a funding problem, a reporting problem, you name it, we're the people that are going to support you on that. Direct payment support. Again, if something pops up, you have my cell number, you have my email, and then I also have a team behind me. God forbid I'm out of office for any reason. Again, you're not dealing with somebody that doesn't know your business. Accounts receivables reconciliation. We like to think of ourselves as an extension of your AR team. That being said, if they need to have like a customized report, you'll actually receive reports daily to show you your funding history. We'll look at that with our gateway demo. But we want to be an extension of your team while you're riding along with us. If you have questions, we're here to answer it. And then technology advancements. The TrulinX and the Tribute team are fantastic. They're continuing to build out new features with their integration, whether it be devices that we just pushed out or some of the new features coming in the future. They're staying up to date on everything, and I can't speak more about how great of a partner they've been to us in that regard. All right, so processing 101. So a little bit about payment processing. I'm not going to dive too deep into this. So the CardPoint Gateway is going to be our reporting backend. The processor takes in the funds, the sponsor bank sits in the background. The customer runs the transaction, and then it ends up in the merchant's bank account the next day. We are 24-hour funding, so this whole process between review, settlement, everything, it's going to last 24 hours before it hits your bank. So steps with integrated payments. So this is kind of what you can expect when working with CardSmart. So there's really 6 layers to this. The first step being a savings analysis. If you've worked with us in the past or you're currently working with us, you had this completed for you. So not only are we giving you the ability to take payment within your software versus working in an external portal, we're going to save you money at the end of the day doing it. Our average right now for Tribute and TrulinX users, we're saving folks about $13,000 a year on just accepting payment. So, you're making your life easier and you're also saving money, which at the end of the day, I mean, us being a small business, every penny counts. After we complete that analysis, we'll look to set up that initial introduction meeting. During that introduction meeting, I'll walk you through the savings analysis so that you understand where that savings is coming from. I don't want you to think, I'm pulling anything out of a magic hat. I want you to understand where those facts are coming from. We'll also do a deep dive into our gateway, make sure from a reporting stance that it'll work for your team. We'll then get into the application pre-vet. Application pre-vet's super simple. I pre-fill as much as possible from my end. Once it's sent out, it'll send out for electronic signature. It's a very easy process. Once that's uploaded to our underwriting team, the application submittal process, it takes about anywhere from 3 to 6 hours for our approval going through underwriting. So it's very fast. We're talking, under a day to get approved and have your account set up. PCI compliance will handle once your account is approved and boarded. PCI is super simple. I've been doing it with folks this week. It lasts all 5 to 10 minutes. We'll do it once a year. And really, it's just a way for you to save a little bit of additional money. PCI compliance is a security review that if it isn't completed every 12 months, you'll probably see it on your line item on your current billing, a line saying PCI compliance, $15, $20. Really, that's a fee that you don't need to be paying as long as you're compliant. And then after that's completed, it's really just personalized training. So if stuff pops up that you want to be more educated on it, shoot me an email. We'll get that training set up with your team. So this is the savings analysis that I just hit on. This is going to be the first page of that analysis. So we'll have the month set up. I can complete this with anywhere from 1 to 3 months to 6 months to even a year. It's really up to you. To have it completed, we'll look at your current processing statement so we can understand the specific cards that you're accepting. You'll have the volume, current fees, CardSmart fees, what that looks like in a monthly savings, an annual savings, and a 5-year savings. The second page, as long as it loads up correctly for me. Sorry, give me 1 second, folks. So that doesn't seem to want to load this second, Lorna, but I can send you it afterwards so that everybody gets a good view on it. The second page, it really breaks it down. It'll have every line item of that analysis to tell you, is this coming from a monthly billing? Is this coming from an authorization, a transaction fee, whatever it may be? You're going to have clarity on where those fees are coming from and more specifically where the savings is coming from. PCI compliance and security. So I just hit on this briefly. So being compliant with PCI, I mean, it is a survey that needs to be completed, but when you go deeper than that, it's how you're accepting the payment, and that's actually completed on the software level. So it's something that you don't even have to worry about. TrulinX and Tribute have done all the work to make sure that this is being handled compliantly. CardPoint is a point-to-point encryption and tokenization solution. So you're going to always have access to the tokens of your customers' information, but never access to the full cardholder details. The big piece of that being, if a data breach were to happen at your site, you don't have access to that full card information. That way you're not going to be liable in case anything pops up in that regard. Tokenized encryption, again, this is a little bit to do with the tokens that we were just talking about. So that token will be generated. You'll have it in your system. Should that customer come back a week later, it's not like you have to retake all their card information. You'll be able to pull up that customer's information, have a card on file, push it through with that card on file, unless they come through wanting to use a different card, in which case we'll just add that new card into the file. All right, and interchange optimization. This is really big, especially for folks in your guys' industry, because you're taking a lot of business-to-business credit cards. So interchange optimization is not a fee that your processor is responsible for. I'm sorry, I just heard a beep, so I want to make sure that was in the chat. No, looks like it was a beep elsewhere. So interchange optimization, again, it's something that is going to be handled on the level of Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and Amex. They set fees for every individual card. So whether it's going to be, a professional card versus a debit card, they all actually have different rates associated to them. Interchange is what that's called. There's some gateways that will optimize the rate that you're receiving for interchange. There are other gateways that do not. The main reason that we choose to partner with the CardPoint gateway is that happens automatically. So your team isn't having to plug in any additional information. You're just getting that level of optimization, which, it will save your business thousands of dollars, just being able to have that optimization in there. And a little bit on the optimization. So optimization is composed of all of these fields of information. So if your gateway is semi-integrated for optimization, it might be getting level 3, but it might be manual level 3. And what it means to be manual is that you have to hand key all of these fields of information. The Tribute and the TrulinX team have been fantastic because they make sure that these fields of information flow from their software into our gateway. So we actually are already collecting that information without you having to hand key it, which is fantastic. What it works out to be is about 17% savings just having that interchange optimization details in there. The effective rate savings being around 54 basis points. So it is huge. And it's also just been announced by Visa, MasterCard, and Discover that they are working in AI, of course. This is going to hit in June or July, that they're going to be scanning for data, making sure that the data is complete. A lot of gateways right now will pre-populate fake information into those data fields. They're going to start hammering away at that because they want to make sure that that is the actual level 3 information, which thankfully with our gateway and our partnership with Tribute and TrulinX is already in place. And this is a little bit of a screenshot of what that looks like with interchange optimization. So we'll see with MasterCard, this is a list of different cards, the data rate associated, and then the fee that you're going to be paying. So we'll see, for instance, MasterCard, if you're taking a level 5 MasterCard, if it's the data rate 1, you're paying 3%. If you're paying a level 2, 2.25%. So right there, it's 75 basis points being dropped off the table just because you're not collecting the information on the gateway side. Same thing with all the other example cards as well. And then finally, for our current users, probably why you hopped on today. So the TrulinX and Tribute team just wrapped up the latest project. Integrated devices, EMV devices with Tap to Pay are finally integrated into the system. They did a fantastic job. We're currently already deployed with a number of our users. It's been tested out. Bugs have been worked out. It is really great so far. So we'll see. CardSmart has a number of different offerings for integrated devices. The big difference between these devices are going to be how they connect. So if you see the lane devices here, they're going to connect via Ethernet cable. The ISMB4 is going to connect via Wi-Fi. And then the next page, we'll see the Link device that connects via Wi-Fi. Same with the Clover device. The ID Tech Augusta that connects via USB. CardSmart will handle one device per location or per merchant ID for you. There's both rental and purchase options. I always tell folks, go with the rental option. The reason being, we don't have to worry about a warranty window. With a purchase, we do have to worry about a warranty window. When it's rented, somebody could be having a bad day at the office, come in and throw it against the wall. We send out a new device for you free of charge. So we just make it really easy to be able to, focus on what you guys are doing and not have to worry about hardware. All right, and then the gateway demo. So I'm going to stop sharing for 1 second so I can pull up my gateway. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. Okay. So this is going to be our gateway. Everything that you run in either the Tribute or the TrulinX system is going to automatically land on our gateway. This is going to be your home for reporting, monthly billing, you name it. Everything is right here. This is comprised in the only hard set fee for CardSmart. If you sign up with us, you don't use the service whatsoever. The only fee you can expect every single month is $18.50. The $18.50 is our cost to be able to fulfill this kind of a solution. So it's not a point of revenue for us. It's just our cost from our partner. We are 24-hour funding. So this first initial dashboard is really going to be good for 24 to 48 hours worth of information. It's going to show you your current day up here with authorized and captured amounts, and then your recent funding from the days before. We do billing once a month that occurs on the 2nd. So if we do have a billing date, it will also show you right there. My account, this is going to show you your merchant ID. So if you have multiple locations, it'll show you that whole list right there. It'll show you your PCI status. So if you're not compliant, we'll know right away. Again, it won't be a problem because we take care of that within the first week or two of your account being active. We have a 45-day grace period to get your account compliant. I like to knock it out as quickly as possible because I know life gets hectic and I don't want it to go by. And then before you know, you're getting billed an item that you don't need to be billed. Reporting. So this is going to be the bread and butter of our portal. So all of your information is going to sit right here. It's not data dumped whatsoever. For instance, I'll go to date right here. We'll do specific date, and I'll kick this out a whole calendar year. So we'll see a ledger pre-populate. Most important lines are going to be the status. So whether it is a processed transaction, a declined transaction, or avoided transaction. Decline being huge because, again, this happens in real time. So if your customer pulls a decline on their card, you look at the gateway. If you scroll down to the bottom, we'll actually see the decline message. So it says issue cannot approve based on details provided. So what that is telling us is that the customer's bank is declining that transaction. So what I would tell that customer is, hey, we have to use a different card, or you have to contact your bank to figure out why they're blocking that transaction from being completed. That way you're not having to wait and tell them, the next day, hey, now we know what to do. You can tell them right there while they're standing with you. We'll look at a successfully processed transaction. Again, it has the subtotal, authorized amount, captured and settled amount. You'll have the customer's card information right here. So this is going to be their token. We'll see we have access to that last four and the expiration date, and then the token number itself. Super straightforward. Should you need to refund, this is where it's going to sit as well. So you'll see that refund functionality right here. It does not need to be for the full amount. So say if you just wanted to do half, you can type it in right there and leave a note on why you're refunding that. If you need to email that receipt out, we can email it out as well right through here with just our email address. Or print it should it be hooked up to a printer. And then avoided transaction. So we'll see that status right here. The main difference between a refund and a void's going to occur for a transaction that happens within 24 hours. So if your customer comes in, they run a transaction, they notice, this was used with the wrong card or whatever it may be. The void is going to stop the transaction before money is ever taken out of their account. A refund is going to be when it's after 24 hours and those funds have been moved from their account into your account. Again, the main difference being void's going to stop it before that money's ever withdrawn. Refund is going to be when we take that money out of your account and put it back into theirs. Another thing with the column headers we'll see here. So these are just the preset column headers. When we hit choose column, all of these fields of information are available for you to make customized reports. So this is what I do primarily with the accounts receivables team at our customers. I'll get on a call with them. We'll figure out, what's the customized report that's going to work best for you, whether it be invoice number, purchase number, you name it. We'll figure out exactly what that report needs to look like. And that way, when you come in, you don't have to mess with these column headers. We can save that report right there so that it's preset for you. We can export it as both a CSV and an Excel file. So again, really easy for you to digest that information. And then again, another great report for your accounts receivables team, a funding report. This is generated and sent out via email every single day to them. This is what that report's going to look like. So we'll see your daily snapshot. It'll show you your date, the location, the sales, if there was fees. So if this report's coming out on the 2nd, we'll also see that as part of the funding event. And then every transaction associated with that. Again, we can export it and we can choose the columns that we need for that information. Chargebacks will also be sent here. So if a chargeback ever comes up, you're going to get an email notification. My best advice to people is when a chargeback comes up, whether it's myself or your current provider, reach out to them as soon as possible. The reason being they are time sensitive in how you fight them. I always tell folks, if you ever get that email, shoot me a note. We bat 1,000 when we contest them. The main thing with chargebacks right now, so chargebacks are there in case you do not receive a product or a service. It's not for non-satisfactory. So if they're not, happy with that order, they should contact you for a refund. A chargeback is again saying that you never got that product or service. So it's technically fraud when they do that. But if you wait past that 15-day window, they're going to get their money back from that transaction, and then you can't fight it. So it turns into a little bit of a nightmare. Easier just to work with us to resolve it. And then your merchant statements, again, none of it's ever data dumped. You never have to request it from me. It's always on access for you. We'll look here. You'll see it dated all the way back to 2018. And this is also by location for billing. So super easy. I like to think that our statements are straightforward. But again, if you need to get on with me for a training on that, our pricing is set in stone. We have no early termination fee. I really like to tell people I want you to want to be our customer and not stuck with it. So if you need to be trained up, I'm happy to do it. Virtual terminal, for any reason, should the TrulinX or Tribute system be down, which, knock on wood, it has not been to date. We don't want you to be left with no way to collect payment. So this is going to be kind of your backstop for that awful situation. We'll just type in the information or the amount for that transaction. We'll do name on card, card information itself, and process transaction. Again, this is a backstop, so it's not like it's going to be your first stop for it. And another note, everything from the TrulinX and Tribute system flows into our gateway. It does not flow in reverse. So if you are using this virtual terminal, we just have to go back to the software to denote that the transaction was completed. I'd like to throw that in there. Your customer's vault, again, all that information will be kept here, tokenized for you. Then administration, you are not capped on users whatsoever. So if you need to add additional users from your team, first name, last name, email, standard, we're going to give them access to everything we'd like them to. So if you maybe don't want to give them access to that virtual terminal, just leave it unclicked there. Then we'll come through here and we'll click what features we do want to. If you make them an admin, it gives them access to everything. And then we'll click into an active user. We'll see email notifications. We can see monthly statement once that's released. Per chargeback, absolutely want to make sure that's selected. And then funding summary, that's going to be that funding report that we looked at. So really easy to set that up as well. Last tab is going to be support. You really won't have to worry about it. Again, if something pops up, I want you to come to me directly. We do have a back-end team in case the world came to an end and my whole team wasn't available. We do have a gateway support. It's never going to happen, but it is there for you. I'd rather jump on it that day though, so that if there's a problem that comes up, we're jumping on it. And I'm sure our current customers can testify that we would like to handle it in-house versus you guys calling somebody that doesn't know you directly. But that's really it in terms of our presentation. I know I wrapped up pretty quick here, but I wanted to be short and concise and give you the information that hopefully you guys are looking for. And if you have questions now, I'd love to be able to field them for you. What's going on, Tom? You might be on mute. You can always type in the chat, Tom, if we can't get your volume to work, or you can always call me afterwards as well. Technology, you gotta love it.
I see. He said, what is the purpose of handheld devices?
Yes. So the devices to date that you guys have been using have been those like the swipe devices. So EMV provides just an extra layer of security having the little chip attached to it. There's not, it's more or less a preference. So if you are in like a retail environment, being able to take like a tap payment, some folks prefer that. So I think that would be the biggest difference between the new EMV devices and the current ones that were supported, which again were just those slide devices. No problem. Does anybody else have any questions?
Like, we're all good, Patrick.
I'll take that as a positive if we were able to address anything. If not,
Very
again, I'll send everybody an email. I promise. I will not attack your email inbox. So if you tell me, we're not interested, I will not take it personally. We'd like to not be pushy. So we'd love to help you if the opportunity exists. If not, I'm here to answer questions so you feel more educated on everything.
well, very thorough presentation. Thanks so much, Patrick. And we'll be we've had this webinar recorded so that, and I'll be sending that out so that you can refer to it at a later time if you need to. So thank
Awesome.
you, everybody, for attending.
Awesome. Thank you, Lorna. I appreciate you putting this together.
Welcome. You're welcome.
All right.